thank you for coming tonight. And I'm a canopy scientist. I climb trees. So, but not many people that know we have many beautiful trees in Taiwan. But I come here because you also have a famous forest, and I was attracted by the trees here. And today my talk is about the story of climate trees here. And this is a recent report. Let's say most people are likely to have reached the summit of Mount Everest that has been the top of an old-growth redwood tree, which helps explain why we know little about the diversity these giant harbors. My wish here is actually to climb a wild redwood, which I haven't been done within 6 months, but I will finish it. You know, I'm a determined person. But I still climb most wonderful trees, some of my most wonderful trees here, and we found a story, and I'm gonna to tell you later. Some of the people here, folks here, I met 6 months before, which was like yesterday, and time passed so fast. And 6 months ago, I promised I'm gonna climb Mount Rainier. I done it, but which is not just a holiday. I learned something from it. We don't have glacier in Taiwan, and my previous research is about global warming and forest canopy, because forest canopy is very sensitive to climate change, and the microclimate in there and the organism there is very sensitive to climate change. And when I climbed Mount Rainier, I really experienced global warming, because when we reach the high camp, we hear the glacier melting, and the ice just fallen and fallen. We couldn't sleep because it's so loud, and I truly feel about global warming is happening. And I'll give you another example that I joined an expedition with OSU people. They're doing an investigation about this whiteback pine, which is a tree that grows in the highest elevation here. And this is in the Walowan Mountain. This tree is very interesting. It's very similar to the cedar, juniper in Taiwan, in the above the tree line. They have a cone that never open, and they can only disperse by a bird called nutcracker. They're gonna open it and to bury in the soil, and they come back to find a tree to eat, but they sometimes forgot. So you will see these trees, they grow in clusters, and this tree has a risk recently, because there is an invasive fungus infect this tree, and because they grow so high altitude, so they are vulnerable to global warming. And we investigate the population in Walowan Mountain, and about 80% of trees has this symptom like fungus infected, and they just died. You know that trees grow so slow, so this kind of small tree, they probably over 300 years old, but they just die because of invasive species and the warming climate. And the most wonderful things here is I joined a research group by EPA. They done research about canopy climate. They set this kind of fancy weather station above 200 feet tall. You can see, I have to show you this. You will see, when you climb the trees, you will see this three-finger Jackson, something like that. Okay, three-finger pig. You wouldn't see that if you on the ground of forest. And this is like 200 feet tall trees, and they put this weather station there is so fancy, and we climb there, and they collect data over 10 years, and we compare with the disease here is a tree disease happen in Douglas fir, which is very important timber here, and it's called Swiss needle cast. So people were concerned about this disease, and we climbed 5 sites. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sites, and this 3 sites is young plantation. These 2 sites are old growth forest, and well, you don't have to understand this graph anyway. This means there's a lot of disease happen, and it's and why old growth forest has fewer disease than the young plantations? So we conclude a possibility that because old growth forest let a lot of different species of fungus compete with Swiss needle cast fungus, and also in that forest there's a lot diversity of trees. The old growth trees there has very diverse gene type, so the fungus is very difficult to infect each trees. And here I give you 2 examples. This is a very famous St. Helens here, and you can see that it erupted in May, I just learned, and you will see that this is St. Helens. Most plantation were destroyed by single eruption, but there's still some survived plantation here, because in that May, there is still snow and it covered those plantation, and they were not destroyed by the eruption. And here's another example. We visit East Oregon, and it's a wild forest fire, and you will see that guy told me it's a perfect fire taken. It's a wonderful fire but most people think it's disaster, right? Why? Because there is patches. You see patches, not all trees burn. Some trees just survive, which tell us that in the natural habitat, in the nature, that they always create patchy patterns. And this maintain habitat heterogeneity, and it creates diverse habitat. And when disaster or invasive species or any things we don't like happen, it never destroy all organisms, because we have diverse species, we have diverse habitat. And so it can apply to our management, which when we manage a forest, we should create the most heterogeneity habitat. We should maintain the diverse habitat. Okay. Oh well, sorry. You see my secrets now. Okay. And another example. This is a pecan food forest I visited in Seattle, which is a first food forest in the world. And in this community, the elementary school here, they translate language into 26 languages. It's very diverse community, and they have this very diverse food forest which produce food for them, veggies, and then people can come and collect it. And this kind of agricultural forest, which is more, it's all because it's diverse, so it's more resistant to any disease than monoculture. And yeah, I will apply to like because I come to U.S. I know here's a very diverse culture society. Then like I'm in Taiwan, we're kind of monoculture. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that the cultural diversity. I think it can build a peaceful world. And the last is I want to thank everyone that will conclude everything is about diversity, and thank you for coming today. Thank you.